Yeah, I had to figure out a way that I can talk to people and still hear the music I need to hear so I can do what I need to do. And I finally found my way. Hey, yeah. Come on. Nah, but seriously, family, I've been learning so much stuff in this small amount of time. Opening my eyes, waking up to things inside of me that I learned with Divine. No longer afraid of life because I realized that, yes, this is my time. Yes, I am the thing that you've been waiting for. Yes, love has finally arrived. Be careful of everyone having you looking at the light because God existed when it was just night. You got to check who was present when there was light. And if we doing everything exactly backwards, then let me just ask you, sir. Did it ever occur to you that left was right and right was not? That what we believe to be the right thing might not be the best thing that propels us into our God-given, predestined, I know the things I have planned for you, and his plan was not for you to suffer and continue to go through. But what his plan was for you to do was find that dark place within you and then go within and tell yourself the truth. Because at that moment you have then acquired the true and living proof that it is you who is in control of everything that you are about to do. And if you don't take control of you, well, then the world around you will gladly control you. But the man who can control himself controls the whole entire world. The man who controls himself don't cower to man, woman, child, or boys. Those with authority understand because they have eyes to see. Looking past what the illusions try to hide from me. Seeing exactly what's happening right in front of me and not denying myself the truth that is the way for me to be free. I'm just saying. Because right now, it's a lot of people out here in this world that think they living, but only really are you playing a game that you don't even know how to play. You don't even know who set it up, and you don't know the way. And emphatically, you defend things that you think, not knowing in any significant way that the things that the man before you and the man before you and the man before him had to say had anything to do with going the right way. But like those sheep, you follow blindly. But the sheep that follow blind go to the slaughterhouse. See, today, sheep's got to stop acting like sheep. Sheep's got to act like wolves. Understand that no matter how bad what I'm doing looks to you, if I'm doing what I'm doing to forward the God's body called peace, well, I could take all the tricks of the enemy and use them for me. It has been made crystal clear that it is your intent, my dear. As a man believes in his heart, so is he. So you cannot tell me the way that I'm supposed to be. You cannot tell me that you know the way that God has for me. Because you could not possibly know the ways of God unless you know me. And yes, when you see me, you don't like what you see. But yes, I am that boulder in the road that you cannot get under, you can't get over, you can't get around. The only way to me is through me. And if you are not willing to go through me, well, then you're not willing to do what's required. And you're not doing what you need to do to be inside of me. And if you can't come inside, well, then the illusion will continue to protect you, make you think that you are hiding. But the truth of the thing here from the very spark is that there is not one thing in the world that dark could ever hide from light. See, that was the moral of the Adam and Eve and the serpent story. Remember, God existed before there was light. And with that light came an illuminating sight that no matter how much you would like me to believe all the things that you wish for me to believe, the truth is in front of me, so I cannot be deceived. But the only way I miss being deceived is that I stop listening to what you tell me to believe. Look with my own eyes, realize that right now in real time. Yeah, that's you, and you full of that grind. Yeah, that's you, and that stuff that you talking out your mouth calling it love, now that's that real thick slime. Cosmic slop, if what not. But what I know is you can miss me with the forget-me-nots because I have already forgotten you, because I've moved on to the reality of life. And sorry, it's not ground you're willing to abide on, boo. And so now you're left with the life you chose, and you get to do all the things that you thought was going to be the best thing to do. But if you found yourself on a road without me, well, see, I'm sorry. You found yourself on a wrong road. There's also another story that's told about predestined things. Those that take the road following the customs of men. Getting all caught up in all kind of unfamiliar sin. Just because you wanted to be down and fit in. Not remembering that one day God's word would have to come true, and one day he was going to call upon you. But if you found yourself so knee deep in the life of mindless, spineless sheep, well, unfortunately, you stayed on the surface and you never went real deep. Because just with a little bit more inquiry, you will find out that there was another side, and then another side again to me. And understanding that, well, if I want to get through, then I have to allow other men to see what it is they believe it is that they see. And it would require a tool that was unfamiliar to me. And so for decades, I sat by diligently, paying attention to deception, treachery, and trickery, to understand how could I use these things to work for me. Because the thing in the light will always try to bring to my sight all that they believe is wrong with me, not allowing me to see the genuine article that is truly me. Now, ask yourself and tell yourself the truth. Have you also been deceived by that same trickery? Somebody convincing you, trying to make you believe what it is that they think you should be, but somehow they know everything for me. But if you ask them the same for them, they would shrug your shoulders and say, You sure that's who you want to be listening? Because the one that knows, and he can tell you which way to go. But the fool will use you as a tool. Make you believe all kinds of crazy things. Try to rope you into love and then try to make you believe somehow you are deranged. Because to their lifestyle you did not want to change. But when you in God's body, you may slip. But we all know to get back up and get in line again. See, it is the spirit of David that is on my life, my friend. Yes, the stone that the builder refused. Yes, the one he refused to use. Not recognizing the power that was in this tool. And while some understood exactly what the tool could do, they wanted to keep it for themselves. They not want to share it with you. Shame the devil right in his face and tell him the truth. See, that's what the God body is commanded to do. It ain't my job to protect the feelings of you. It is my job to understand why I feel the feelings I feel, you see. Because the more I know why I feel, the more intuitive I be. The more laser focused my third eye be. the more my heart can withstand the cauterizing, cutting it off from anything that would try to despise me. Not understanding that this was a predestined ride, you see. I understood everything that I was going to have to go through in order to reach my destiny. But see, you did not understand just who was me. And as you traveled the road alongside of me, you thought the things that you were doing were hurting me, not realizing that you were simply fueling me, giving me the evidence I need so that I could truly believe that everything that God put in me was actually inside of me. Not the illusion that you painted of me, but the reality of who I am in God's body. The reality that I have been given dominion and power, and men cannot just trot over me. Everybody want to be the goat, not understanding that the scapegoat is just the one that the enemy uses for his master tool. So go ahead and be the goat. Who are you the greatest of, though? Are you the greatest of yourself, or are you the greatest of him? Yeah, the goat that you be worshiping. Right now is a precarious time. There are people out here playing games with people's minds, trying to put on sheep's clothes, and they are, of the enemy's design. See, if they put on the wolf's clothes, it would not be a costume. See, it is what they are accustomed, and that is what they do. And then they project their customs onto you. And if you receive them, you will begin to believe them too. And that is the way that the enemy takes command over you. You got to be willing to come out from amongst them. Stand in your own power. Understanding that I don't have to go into them. Because all that would see me, well, I would draw them unto me. But if I have to go after you, then you are not the one for me. So you let anything that you have to go after, go. Let it be free. Because you got to be making room for the one God set out for your destiny. And if you got the wrong people in the way, well, there's no room for the right ones to stay. And could you imagine that if one could chase 1,000, then two could chase 10,000, but if it was my absolute perfect other half of me, I think that we can chase the whole lot of them, you see. That's the kind of power I believe abides in me. That God said that greater was in me than anything that was outside in the world. And for me to get inside, I had to get out the light and go into the dark parts, girls. I had to look at a part of me that I did not want to see. Tell myself truths that I did not even want to believe. But what other way could I get to me? See, I had to stop looking at mommy and daddy, looking at what somebody else did to me. Understand that the only way that I was ever going to be able to stand up and be everything God said I would be was that I had to say, fuck everybody else and shift the focus wholly and solely on me. Yes, I have the ability, and it is my job to take the responsibility. There is no one who is going to rectify the past for me. And I don't even have to look that way because it ain't the way that I'm going. See, I decided to put the past up on the shelf, put it in a present box, and take the gift of life out and live it. Reestablish my health. Come back into my whole divine self. Tell myself the most uncomfortable, most blessed, but most holy truths. And to myself, I will ultimately prove that I could be trusted by you know who, me. That there could be nothing in the vicinity that could ever come against me, because if God is for me, what could be against me? And so one day I woke up out of this treacherous sleep. And yes, a true and living God woke up inside of me. giving me eyes to see these creepy, grimy mother fathers that been hanging around me, acting like they for me when they really just against me, trying to see how much they can put up against me, trying to back my back up against the fence, see, because I'm not scared to stand up and defend me. And they want me to back down, cower, and be Freddy cats like they be. Nah, see, that ain't my story. My spiritual line is Maccabee. And I don't know exactly if you understand who that be. But that's that line of that family that stands 10 toes down, 4 tough, strong, see. Living out the promise that was promised to my family. Here to restore an order that has been gone for too long. Time to bring God's original body back home. And don't worry about a thing if you did not make it in the first ring. Remember, there's going to be a lot of people who are grafted in. But that's going to be determined by the hearts of men. And if you are so busy looking outside judging you know who, then you took your eye off the one that you should be judging, boo. Because you're the only judge and jury that's going to ever stand up to you. And when you got to answer to yourself real hard than anything you could ever see, stand up in front of yourself and lie to yourself. See what kind of life that's going to be. God said the only way to come is to come by way of me. And when you come, you got to come honestly. Because it is only by way of the truth that you are actually set free. Otherwise, you are bound to the lying story that you've been telling everybody. But the truth that really is that you have not told that lie to anyone but yourself. You're the only one that believes that you're in the dark. The light is on and everybody can see it for themselves. Time to get off the fantasy ride. Time to go inside. Take the real deep dive. Look at all that shit that you wish you could have. Because it won't be long before trying to have your business up on the big screen anyway. They want a social credit system. And they want to spread that shit this way. Hey, you don't got to believe a word I got to say. Time tell the truth on everything. But if you can get out the loop of time and recognize that time ain't a real thing. Just a filing system that we use to keep up with things. Release yourself from time, you can release yourself from the lies. Live inside of the reality of what is, but don't you ever forget where the true and living God truly lives. And he only created the light in the day for you and me to have a schedule, to put some type of order so that we can communicate that way. But somehow we keep on thinking that we are the ultimate thing when we are just the cells in the body of a thing. God is present every single day of your life for you. But you've been praying backwards, looking outside for a sky daddy to do something for you. That book told you that you would never have a God that you could feel, that you could not, that if it was nothing there, then there was nothing there. And you're not going to sit here and try to fool yourself. Remember with that king when he thought he had guys in that daggone place eating that food? Somebody is doing the exact same thing today to you. It's time to wake up and recognize what is really happening. For the everyday people continue to play the fool. Wisdom is speaking. And it's speaking to you. Do you have ears to hear and eyes to see? Being able to recognize when the truth is standing up in front of thee? You don't have to believe me. Go inside yourself and check, and you will surely see. Because just like I got a me, look in that mirror and who you see. Ain't nobody getting to God without coming through me.